All of this is happening in an environment where the media is just fixated on Donald Trump's latest tweets, particularly those that sort of veer into professional wrestling. I digress enough to make the point that the New York Times is already accusing the president of encouraging violence. We've got Democratic strategist Atima Omara joining us. We've got GOP fundraiser Noelle Nikpour. All right, team, I want to begin with you because when I saw that in the Times, and other papers have echoed a similar theme, that he's inciting violence, to me it's a clear goof. But I think the violence that we've seen, sadly, has been on the left. We've had a couple of uprisings at Berkeley. We've had a number of actors and/or comedians or both talking about beheading the president, killing the president, taking great joy in maybe finding a time in Johnny Depp's case to look for another actor to kill the president. So I think disproportionately the threat is coming from the other side. What do you think?
Well, Neil, I think that definitely I would say that there have been a couple of instances. I don't think that is specifically only happening on this side, certainly during Obama's.
By the way, I read you 3 of 28 I could find.
Three, that's totally fine. All I was simply saying was that also you can point to instances on the conservative side, you know, certainly when Obama was president, of instances where he was shown pictures of him being lynched and other violent stuff. So while I don't condone that, I think it's sometimes the run-of-the-mill depending on who is in the White House. That being said, I do think Trump's tweets are, whether intentional or not, tend to be a distraction. I mean, I certainly saw on Friday myself like 6 articles about Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, and I'm like, this is taking away attention on actual issues on the Trump agenda.
Fully agree with you. No, I actually fully agree with you on that, because any minute we are talking about this is a minute that we're not talking about his domestic agenda and some of the things he's doing. You might not like all of it, but that's kind of in keeping with where he has a lot more popularity. So, Noelle, should he just, or do you think he should just stop all of this right now, or that keep to tweets that are to message, like some of the ones he had this morning?
Well, you know, yes, he should just stay on message and back up the Republican Party and the messages they have out. But I will tell you that, you know, under this administration, whether he's tweeting or not tweeting, you know, in his first 100 days, he signed something like 28 bills. Roosevelt signed 76, and Truman signed 55. So this president's getting busy with it. But now what I do think that he thinks in his mind is working with these tweets. We can't think of Marco Rubio without thinking of little Marco. We can't think of Ted Cruz without thinking of lying Ted. So I think he thinks by branding, you know, maybe something like CNN or MSNBC or whatever, by fake news, that he's getting it across, you know, to America that this is what they stand for. And it's worked. I mean, you know, he beat out 16 running mates by all these tag nicknames.
No, my opinion is he's there.
He
made it. He's president of the United States. Touche. You can put down a lot of this stuff, but the fact of the matter, this stuff is just a distraction. I think a lot of his messages, you know, and Atima, you can help me with this, just when it comes to that economic message, some of the things that are important, tweeting about how we'll be meeting with foreign leaders, particularly about Vladimir Putin, I believe the president of Mexico as well, in the next few days. Those are all good things to remind people who you are, what you won, not to go back to the kind of stuff that isn't necessary anymore. That's just
Right, and I mean, like, I think, you know, certainly as a Democrat, I would be, like, remiss in saying, like, we could be discussing the health care bill right now and the issues
Wait a minute, you're a Democrat?
Well, you introduced me as one,
right,
so yeah.
Just checking.
But yeah, so I mean, definitely that we're talking about the health care bill and the fact that maybe 15 million people might be off of this health care bill. Should we be talking about repeal and then replace later? Should we be talking about the people who voted for him who would be affected by this health care law?
But don't you think CNN sort of teams it up here when they all of a sudden start saying or reminding their guests, look, this is professional wrestling is fake, missing the irony of that statement to say, well, that maybe was the president's point. What you do is fake. And some of the things they've done lately has reinforced that image. Should it be best for them, if they're going to say the president demeans himself doing this sort of thing, for them not to even acknowledge it?
Well, I think that, I mean, certainly on this network, you yourself, I think, I don't know when it was, a couple weeks ago, you mentioned on your show that a lot of the times when he tried to have a workforce development week, when he tried to have a health care week,
he gets in his own way.
He gets in his own way with his own tweets. And I think that is absolutely the issue here. I mean,
best ignored. I'd say best ignored. So, Noelle, I know I was here for the Trump folks who want to kill me, but he's there. He does it fine. He's doing it, you know, just But stop it. Stay on message, because your message, despite obviously differences over that approach, is a lot more popular than the things you're tweeting about. What do you think?
I agree, Neil. And to go a step further,
because I literally just made that up right now. But I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? That you can go too far with this stuff and get off message.
Yeah, and you know, another thing, I've talked to some of the bundlers, to some of the donors that I deal with, and a lot of these people have said, you know, he's there. What is he doing? He's made it. And instead of talking about big and powerful things, he's punching down, and he's doing things that are just, you know, beneath him. I mean, these things don't matter.
And he's advancing
he's showing
a show that no one sees in the morning on MSNBC. What is it called?
Good one. We wish he would stop. I mean, you know, or at least focus on things that are going to help build his message and not detract from his message. He can either, you know, build his own thing up, or, you know, it's just exasperating. But you're right, Neil.
He's going to start sounding like
he can do great
these
things.
professional wrestlers.
Well, you know,
Johnny's going to hell in a handbasket, brother. You know. That's for you. That's basic.
And I wonder sometimes, too, if sometimes the tweets are, when I said intentional or not, you know, all of these barrage of tweets started when, you know, the Senate went on their vacation and hadn't passed health care, as was the plan. So sometimes you wonder if he's doing it just to distract from, like, things not happening.
Too clever by half. I think we're over-analyzing this, guys. But you might be right. I want to thank you both. Hope you have a very safe and happy 4th of July. Two voices of reason on the left and the right.